That's not working. Oh, there we go. Hello. Is this still gonna work? Yeah! Alright. Well, hello all. Welcome to today's stream video thing, depending on how you're watching it. I'm gonna turn the music down even more. Today's stream, as some of you can already see, is gonna be Mount and Blade Warband. It's a game I quite enjoy. I decided a while ago I wanted to stream it, and it just happened that just before this broadcast, I decided I should change it and do this. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna play this. Today's stream might also be a little shorter. It might only be a half an hour or so-ish. Maybe a little more, because unfortunately I have to take someone lunch, and seeing as the time I picked is from 11 to 12 Eastern time to stream, I kind of have to take someone lunch because they don't have a car, but we'll just see how it goes. If it's a little late, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But let's start going. Welcome, adventure, to Mount and Blade Warband. Before beginning the game, you must create your own character. Remember that in the intertraditional medieval society depicted in the game, war and politics are usually dominated by male members of the nobility. That does not, however, mean that you should not choose to play a female character, or one who is not of noble birth. Male nobles may have a somewhat easier start, but women and commoners can attain all the same goals, and in fact may have a much more interesting and more challenging early game. Sounds good. Select your character's gender. I am a dude. You were born years ago in a land far away. Your father was an impoverished noble, a traveling merchant, a veteran warrior, a hunter, a steppe nomad, or a thief. Yikes. Alright, let's go with a thief. As the son of a thief, you had very little formal education. Instead, you were out on the streets begging until you learned how to cut purses, cutting purses until you learned how to pick locks, all the way through your childhood. Still, these long years made you streetwise and sharp to the secrets of cities and shadowy backyards. You start to learn about the world almost as soon as you could walk and talk. You spent your early life as a page at a nobleman's court, a craftsman's apprentice, a shop assistant, a street urchin, or a stepchild. Hush your mouth. You should be muted. Why are you making noises? Okay. Better. Fixed it. Let's do street urchin. That sounds fun. Father was a thief. As a boy growing out of childhood, you took to the streets, doing whatever you must to survive. Begging, thieving, and working for gangs to earn your bread. You lived from day to day in this violent world, always one step ahead of the law and those who wished you ill. Then, as a young adult, life changed, as it always does. You became a squire, a troubadour, a university student, a goods peddler, a smith, or a game poacher. I'm trying to remember the skills. A squire gets you politics skills, like persuasion and such. Troubadour should get you like speed and party size, I think. University student gives you intelligence and things like engineering. These are all skills that you'll see once we get to the skill tree for those that are curious. Smith and goods peddler should give you similar things. Smith should do engineering and weapons, I believe. And a goods peddler will give you merchant type skills, so better selling and buying prices, better rewards for quests, such like that, if I remember right. Or a game poacher. A game poacher should give you archery and I believe other skills like not persuasion, but I can't even remember all the skills. It's been a while. But let's go with Game Poacher. Though the distinction felt sudden to you, somewhere along the way you had become a man, and the whole world seemed to change around you. Dissatisfied with common men's desperate scrabble for coin, you took to your local lord's own forests and decided to help yourself to its bounty. Laws be darned. You hunted stags, boars, and geese, and sold the precious meat under the table. You cut down trees right under the watchmen's noses and turned them into firewood that warmed many freezing homes during winter. All for a few silvers, of course. But soon everything changed, and you decided to strike out on your own as an adventurer. What made you take this decision was personal revenge, loss of a loved one, wanderlust, being forced out of your home, lust for money and power. What? Real quickly though, first, what is my chair stuck on? How? What? Alright, it appears my chair is stuck on nothing. I'm just going insane. But it's fine. It's fine. Alright. Let's see. We're a thief. Oh, I think I see part of the problem. Someone else sat in my chair recently. That's bad. Okay. So we were a thief, a street urchin, and a poacher. Let's go with lust for money and power. That seems about right. Only you know exactly what caused you to give up your old life and become an adventurer. To everyone else, it's clear that you're now motivated solely by personal gain. You want to be rich, powerful, respected, feared. You want to be the one whom others hurry to obey. You want people to know your name and tremble whenever it is spoken. You want everything, and you won't let anyone stop you from having it. Become an adventurer and ride to your destiny. Alright, let's roll. Alright, saving policy. Realistic means that if you want to leave the game, you can't do it without saving. And there's also automatic saves here and there. Allow me to quit without saving means you choose when it saves. There aren't really any auto saves. So unless it works something more like Skyrim or something, just with no auto saves. Let's roll with realistic. Now enter your name and distribute your attribute, skill, and weapon points. You can click on various elements of the screen to learn how each one will affect your character. Alright. So attributes. This adds strength is weapon, shield, block, how fast you can walk with armor eventually. No, that's agility that determines how well you can walk. Agility, speed, how fast you swing weapons, how fast you throw weapons, how fast you ready weapons. Strength also determines what kind of bow you can use. It says right there, every point adds +1 to hit points. The following skills cannot be developed beyond 1/3 of strength. Iron Flash, Power Strike, Power Throw, and Power Draw. Yeah. Power Strike is just damage. However, Power Throw and Power Draw, those need to be higher for you to use certain type of weapons. Like if you want to use certain javelins, you have to have a Power Throw of say 4 or something. And the same thing goes for Power Draw. If you want to use certain bows, like endgame bows, like war bows or whatever, you have to have a Power Draw of 5. Otherwise, you can't use them. Agility. Each point gives you 5 weapon points and slightly increased movement speed. The following skills cannot be developed beyond 1/3 of agility. Weapons Master, Shield, Athletics, Riding, Horse Archery, and Looting. Weapon Master. What even is Weapon Master? I can't remember. It's easier to. Oh, that makes it easier to learn proficiencies like these, which you get by using weapons. Shield determines how much damage you block with your shield and also can determine its durability. Athletics is how fast you run while in armor. Riding is what kind of horses you can ride, so the same thing like with bows, you need a riding skill of X to use certain horses. So like armored war horses or whatever, you would need a riding skill like 5 or something. Horse archery is how well you can shoot a bow while on horseback. That's normally something I personally dump skill points into because I like that. And then looting determines how much loot you get, and the higher you put it, the higher stuff you can get. Intelligence. Every point to intelligence immediately gives you 1 extra skill point. The following skills cannot be developed beyond 1/3 of intelligence. Trainer, that's how fast you train troops. You know, it gives them more XP the more stuff you do. Tracking is, you'll see, I'll show you, you'll see when we get there are little arrows that pop up behind war parties. And the higher you're tracking, the easier it is to track them. Those arrows get more precise. They show you speed, what time they were there, and about how many people were in the party. Pathfinding is how much you move on the large map. That's something else I'll show you in a second. Spotting, it determines how far away you can see other war parties. Inventory management is just how large your inventory is. Wound treatment is how fast wounds are healed. Surgery determines, and the next part, surgery determines, it gives a higher chance not to lose a soldier if they are critically injured, because after they take so much damage, they die. First aid is another one to dealing with how fast people heal. I think that one specifically is for heroes or specific people. Engineer is how long it takes you to build things, like siege preparations or parts near town, such like that. Persuasion is is a politics skill, so it determines whether okay, hold on, let me restart. There come certain points and you'll have the option to persuade someone to get some quest done, like, oh, this village is being starved by their lord because their lord's a butt, that kind of thing, and then you can persuade them to take better care of their village. Charisma. Each point increases your party size limit by +1. The following skills cannot be developed beyond 1/3 of charisma. Prisoner management, that's how many prisoners you can hold. Leadership is how many people you can have in your party, and also it helps to lessen their pay. And trade. Trade is a barter skill. So the higher your trade is, the more money you get for selling things, and the less money you have to pay to buy things. So I want to do 2 there, 2 there. We want more intelligence and charisma. We want 1 into Iron Flesh. Alright, that's about all we can do for that, unfortunately. Weapon Master, athletics. We do want another into riding. We want as many as we can put into horse archery, which is 3, which is good. We'll do 1 into trainer, and then 1 into pathfinding, and then we'll start to distribute things down here as we go. And then these are weapon proficiencies. Archery is maxed out, which is what we want. Then we're gonna put some points into two-handers. And what these skills do is these determine kind of how much damage you do and how good you are with that weapon. Alright. Name. This is the hard part. See, this is the point where I literally just smash my forehead on the keyboard and see what comes out. I've got it. Thief boy. Hold on. Thief McBoy. Alright, let's go with that. It's quality. Everything looks good. Health. Alright. And those tutorial, adjust your character's face. This is kind of unimportant nonsense, but we'll just randomize a couple times. The things where I had to pick like a thief, steppy child, where I picked thief, street urchin, and poacher. Those also determine what kind of weapons we start out with. Yeah, we'll do that. That's literally me right there. Quality. We'll just roll with that. Alright. You hear about Calradia, a land torn between rival kingdoms battling each other for supremacy. A haven for knights and mercenaries, cutthroats and adventurers, all willing to risk their lives in pursuit of fortune, power, or glory. In this land, which holds great dangers and even greater opportunities, you believe you may leave your past behind and start a new life. You feel that finally, you hold the key of your destiny in your hands, free to choose as you will, and that whatever course you take, great adventures will await you. Drawn by the stories you hear about Calradia and its kingdoms, you join a caravan to Praven Kingdom of Swadia. Swadia's troops are spearmen and archers. No, Swadia's are strong infantry and crossbowmen. Joining Count to Ravedan, Kingdom of the Vaegirs. The Vaegirs are, I think they're light cavalry. No, they are kind of medium cavalry. So lots of archers in there. A caravan to Tulga, Kingdom of the Kurgat Khanate. Those are the more light infantry, light cavalry. Take a ship to Sargoth, Kingdom of the Nords. Kingdom of the Nords are pretty much known for the Housecarls, which is a type of heavy infantry, and also their archers are pretty good. Take a ship to Jalkala, Kingdom of the Rhodoks. Now, the Rhodoks are known for spearmen and crossbowmen. Join a caravan to Shariz in the Saranad Sultanate. That's another one of kind of light cavalry. But for this, we're gonna roll with the Nords because I like their people. Like, Housecarls are good, and the Nord veteran archers are also pretty good. You took passage with a trading longship carrying Gyrfalcons from the furthest reaches of the north to be bartered for linen and wool. It sailed early in the season, but the master reckoned that his risks of drifting ice and later winter storms could be justified by arriving ahead of the sea raiders, who by April would be sailing forth from their island lairs to ravage Calradia's coasts. It was some relief when your ship came in sight of the delta of the Vril and Bolak rivers, and a short while later rode past tidal floats and coastal marshes to the city of Sargoth, home to the sea raiders' distant kinsmen, the Nordic lords, who a few generations ago had carved themselves a kingdom in this rich but troubled land. Continue. You are exhausted by the time you find the inn in Sargoth and fall asleep quickly. However, you awake before dawn and are eager to explore your surroundings. You venture out onto the streets, which are still deserted. All of a sudden, you hear a sound that stands the hairs of your neck on end. The rasp of a blade sliding from its scabbard. Alright, now this is the part where it gives us... Is this all I have? Wait. Oh, heck. This is all I have. Why just throwing knives? Why? I don't want throwing knives. Okay. I want a chance to better explain combat, but I'll do that in a second, because now there's story bits. Are you alright? Well, I guess you're alive at any rate. I'm not sure what we can say the same for the other fellow. That's one less thief to trouble our streets at night, although heavens knows he won't be the last. Anyway, Maybe you can help me with something. Let's talk more inside. Out here, we don't know who's listening. I'm gonna take a sip of water while I do this. Okay. The merchant takes you to his house. Once inside, he stands by the door, for a while checking the street, and then finally, convinced you have not been followed, comes near you to speak. Okay, I'm gonna take this chance to do something. So you can do third person or first person, but that crosshair, right? I'm gonna hold left mouse, and then you see that crosshair opens up, and when I walk, it gets wider. Anywhere in that crosshair is where something will hit. That's where, like, the throwing skills, the things like power throw and throwing weapons on the skill tree, like here. Where is it? Throwing and power throw determine how small that circle is and how much damage these do when I throw them. And it's the same thing for bow, but instead it would be power draw and archery or crossbows. Alright, let's continue the story for a second. Now, let me explain my proposition. We've always had brigands in the hills, driven to banditry by war debt or love of violence. Recently, however, they've been getting bolder, leaving their camps in the wild and venturing into town looking for unwary prey. The watch commander tells us it's because of all the fighting on the frontiers. Fewer men to keep an eye on the streets, but I'm not sure what to make of that. It seems to me that the most logical explanation is these bandits have an ally inside the walls, who help them enter unnoticed and helps them identify particularly tempting targets. Last week, you see, they took my brother. I don't know what my brother was thinking, a lad from a prominent house, out alone after dark in times like these. Well, I suppose you were too, but you're a stranger here and didn't know how bad things have become. He had no such excuse, but he's family, so what can you do? If you don't protest your kin, then people will start thinking that you can't protect your investments either, and I can't have that. No doubt the gang will soon send word about a ransom, but I don't care to pay it. So here's my proposition. You look like you've had a bit of experience with the blade, and more importantly, you must have a bit of fire in your belly or you wouldn't be coming to Calradia. Seek your fortune. Come to Calradia to seek your fortune. I stopped at the wrong part there, sorry. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Gather a small party, track down these bandits to their lair, teach them a lesson they won't forget, and get my brother back safe. In return, you'll earn my lasting gratitude and a bit of silver. What do you say? I am interested. You won't be able to do this by yourself, though. If you try and take on the whole gang single-handedly, the hunter will become the hunted, I'll warrant. You'll first want to round up a group of volunteers. There's always a few lads in the villages around here looking for a bit of work that's more interesting than tilling the soil or hauling water. They'll follow you if you pay. So, take this purse of 100 dinars, consider it in advance on your reward. Go around to the villages and use the money to hire some help. I'll reckon that you need at least 5 men to take on these bandits. Very good, sir. I'll go collect some men from around the villages. Good. You can find me again in the tavern here in Sargoth. After you've got your group together, then we'll speak about what to do next. Alright. It's telling me what button to hit to take the quest now. I can hit tab, and you can see, here's the big map. This is what pathfinding determines. So there's me. And if I go over here, if I go over here, that's what pathfinding determines. Hello, how are you? And so now these larger names are towns, are actual cities. These smaller names like this and Rizzi right here and Hain, those are villages. That's where we're going to go around and recruit volunteers. Now, the cities are the big one. Cities are large, fortified, and have tons of people in there. Like you can see, there's about 400 people in there. over 400. Then there's also castles, which we can't see the people in because we're not close enough, but there's castles and towns. Now, each castle, like Chalbut Castle right here, should come with, I think, this village and this village. So if we were to overthrow this castle, we would get all that space. And you'll also notice that there are colors. Each kingdom has its own color. These should be the Sarranids. Yep, there's the Sarranids. They're yellow. These are the Kurgats. These should be the Rhodoks. Nope, those are the Swadians. These are the Rhodoks. And these are, of course, the Nords. And then these are the Vaegirs. Now, what I normally do, or rather what I've done in the past, and what I'll probably do this time, is even though I thought I had it installed, even though I didn't, is I'll probably install the Vexed Native mod, which just changes these colors and does a couple other general tweaks. But, unless someone speaks otherwise now, our goal for this little playthrough is going to be to start and conquer a kingdom of our own choice, or just bits of everything. But normally the one that ends up getting screwed in the long run, and normally I end up snagging a castle or two from, are the Swadians, because by the time of like 2 or 3 hours in of playtime, all of this is going to be divvied up between these four factions. And so once that starts happening, we can slip in with a large enough party and steal a castle or something, and then we can start building up our own war parties. But that's quite a ways away because we still we can only have 43 people, and we would need a lot more. However, I can't even use that. Why would you give it to me? However, for now, we need to go and get a little gear first. Sounds fun? Conquering is great. Yeah. Alright, you've spoken your bit. And then this is the trading screen. So this is what they have to offer. They have food like grain, dried fish, and bread, which is dried fish, bread, and dried meat are primarily what I'm gonna buy for food because they don't go bad. Though some of the stuff like this gives more morale to the party, and morale can determine how well they fight. There's also tools, which in this I believe are trading, though in other ones I think they determined how fast some things were built, but I can't remember. For now, though, we need For now, we kind of need a melee weapon that we can use. You know what? We'll go with a heavy pickaxe and throw the throwing knives away. Alright. Let's go get some people. So now we're gonna, in the little recruiting stage, so we're gonna scoot over here to Fanada, or Faynada, however you pronounce it. Then this up here is a quick summary of the village, what our relationship to them is, and then who their leader is. And then we can recruit volunteers, which is what we're here for. We can go to the village center, which is, will just let us roll around the village. We can buy supplies from the peasants, even though they're basically going to have this, and they have no money. Or we can take a hostile action, which means we can force the peasants to give us supplies, or we can steal cattle. Or we can just not do that, which is probably what we're going to do. But we're here for volunteers, so we're going to come in, we're going to recruit them. We're gonna leave, and then we're gonna go up here to Firikin.
You better not be a man.
Ah, heck. Alright, so this happens quite a bit. Looters are a type of hostile party, as you can imagine. And they come up and they say, hey, we want to fight you. And then you just go in and you fight them. And then here are my troops. Those are the recruits we just picked up. And they're gonna kind of go up. And since I haven't given them a task, like to hold a position, they're just gonna rush in. Even though what I should probably do is tell them to go stand over there. Because I would like to keep them alive. So we're gonna do that. And here are the looters. We're gonna miss all of our shots. Alright. So normally what I do, this is kind of a crappy map, is normally I kind of float around and try to distract them since I have a horse and pretty good mobility while on the horse. So once we get archers, I can float around in the front and distract them. And this is kind of what a lot of gameplay is like. But this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna send them in for a charge. They're gonna get him. Alright, what are you even doing? They're gonna go in and give him business. And then we won, so now they're gonna let out a good old-fashioned war cry. Then we're gonna leave, it's gonna tell us who we killed. And then we can steal their stuff. Which I'm going to do, because their stuff is better than mine, for the most part. And then we can hit return. It's gonna pop up right there that some of our soldiers are ready to upgrade, so we're gonna go into the party. We're gonna find Nord recruit, and then we can upgrade them into a footman or a huntsman. A footman is a type of normal infantry, and then a huntsman will make them an archer, which for now is what we're gonna do. Then we're gonna head up here to Firikin. It's gonna take us the wrong way. There's 14 looters there, which we don't want, and another 14 there, and another 12 there. None of which we are interested in. So we're just gonna scoot on over this way. We also don't want to mess with the thing of deserters. So we're gonna go on here. We're gonna once again recruit volunteers, and we're gonna leave. And then we're probably gonna get nuked by the deserters. But we're gonna try to head over to Jayek. Yeah, he's gonna catch us. Yeah. So here's one of the sucky things. Well, not one of the sucky things, but one of the hard things. So there are a party of 10 Nord veteran archers, which means that my guys can't even get close. So I could try to fight them, but I would just get nuked because they're the highest archer class from the Nords. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pay them to leave us alone. Pay them 88 stinking bucks. And then head back to Sargoth because I'm not about to lose my entire party to a bunch of deserters. Now, late game, when we have a party of 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever, we can nuke them. We can just take them and beat the daylights out of them. collected the 5 men. So now we're gonna head back. We're also gonna head back to Sargoth and find the merchant. We're gonna sell some stuff. Maybe look into getting some more arrows. And by maybe, I mean we basically are. We're also gonna kill some more looters. Just gonna tell them to surrender or die, then charge. Then you can see all my guys here. And these battles can get... I think the largest size is about 200-ish, 300-ish characters. So like I could have 150 and they could have 150. And when you start doing like castle sieges and such, it gets crazy. But sieges kind of are the most excitingly unexciting thing you'll see. Because it's just a lot of people at one particular bottleneck. Excuse you. But we're gonna... we killed them, now we're gonna go back to Sargoth. And then I guess for now, we'll finish this quest. And then I'll probably end the stream there, since that's gonna take us a little bit. And then you can see again, we have people that are ready to upgrade, so we can come in here. I'm gonna turn him into a huntsman too, because we need some archers. So combat in this is kind of slow at times, so just be kind of ready for that. Sell all this crap. Alright. Arms merchant, we want some more arrows. Don't have enough money for any of that. I don't think he doesn't have any other arrows. Heck. Got a shield. Why an old kite shield? Can we buy any armor for goodiness? Oh, not anything worth having. Alright. Now we're gonna head to the tavern. Talk to the merchant. When you come to the tavern, you can also find mercenaries and people like Katrine, who are technically a hero, which means that they're an NPC that you can make a lord. Or... yeah, they're... oh, excuse me. They're an NPC that you can make a lord. They also have a unique backstory and possibly a quest. They also can't die like normal people. But for now, we're gonna skip over here. You can also find these guys called belligerent drunks, which basically just challenge you to a fight and then you win and get $100. Belligerent drunk. What are you looking at? I'm not sure. Some sort of animal. Clearly. Excuse me. Please accept my apologies, which is what we'll roll with. I'll wipe that smirk right off your face. And so now he's gonna try to fight us while the other NPCs run. See? And then this is also kind of what melee combat's like. And then the way you swing is determined by the way you're looking. So if I look up, I'll swing down. If I'm looking kind of level, I'll swing to one side or the other. And then you win him, we got $50, and we got his sword. And then the tavern keeper says, well, I'd say he started it. That entitles you to his sword and purse, I suppose. Have a drink on the house, as I... dare say, you saved a patron or two a broken skull. Still, I hope he still has a pulse. It's not good for an establishment to get a name as a place where men get killed. So we can say such a waste, or better him than me. We'll roll with such a waste for this one, then we can just see his body. We can also go into our inventory. We got his sword, which is 28, which is better than our weapon, so we'll take that. And so, while we are here, and I am remembering, so when you hover over a weapon, you'll see the title in white right above the cursor, which is Nordic Sword. Then under it in blue, it will say what kind of weapon it is. So in this case, it's a one-handed weapon. You can see the price you can sell it for, its weight, and the weight of things determines your encumbrance, which is how fast you go. You can also see that on the bottom where it says return, the thing right above that, encumbrance, that's how fast you move. The lower that is, the faster you move. Then you can see the swing, which is 28C, which is 28 cut damage. Then thrust is 20p, which is 20 piercing damage. Speed rating is how fast you can swing the weapon. And then weapon reach is how far away the weapon will hit. But anyway, that's that. So we'll return. We'll find the merchant. There's also wandering minstrels who can teach you things, but we're not quite to that stage point there. There's also people in taverns called caravan guards, which are mercenaries you can hire for money. There's ransom brokers who you'll just sell stuff to. There's the tavern keeper. There's Katrine. So now we're going to talk to the merchant. Splendid work. You have hired enough men to take on the bandits. Now, travelers entering Sargoth have told us that there's a small group of robbers lurking on the outside of town. I suspect that they are all from the same band, the one that took my brother. Hunt them down and defeat them, and make them disclose the location of their lair. Very well, I shall hunt for bandits. Now we hit tab, we can leave, and then if we look right there, band of robbers. Now we're going to go fight them. So the robber says, what do you want? And then we'll say, I've been looking for you. I need to know where your base is. And then, those prisoners are only going free if you pay the ransom. Did you bring any silver? No, but I brought steel. Now we can charge the enemy, order our troops attack without you, or leave. So we're going to charge the enemy. And we're just going to roll on in and toastal them. That sounds complicated. What, the weapons thing? Or like the whole loadout situation in general? Oh, right in the forehead. That almost hit in the worst place. Because if it's a loadout situation, yeah. This game is kind of more complicated than a lot because it's a genuine RPG. So there's gonna be complicated elements as we go. Like, there's a whole politics side to it where you have to balance relationships with certain nations or relationships with your lords and all that stuff. Alright, casualties, 3 killed, 1 wounded. That's always a thing. And then we can speak to this robber. Also here you can say the relation, which is indifferent. It says their name, what their relationship is. The higher towards green, the better it is, which means the more leeway stuff they'll give you. The more to the red, they'll basically hate you. Spare me. Spare my life. Let me go, and I'll go far away from here and learn an honest trade, and you'll never hear of me again. I'll spare your life, but in exchange, I want information. Either you or your mates kidnapped the brother of a prominent merchant in town. Tell me where you're hiding him and give me word that you'll stop troubling the people of these parts and you can go free. Hold on a second. Yeah, the weapon stats. Are you a good guy in this or a bad guy in this? So, kind of, not necessarily, kind of like, I guess maybe a chaotic good, maybe, kind of a thing. Not bad, but my starting, you can go back and watch a stream. You can pick starting thing. You can pick like starter personality trait type things, which is like, what did your father do? What did you do while you were a child? And I picked, my father was a thief. I was a street urchin as a child, and then I was a poacher in my early life. So kind of like not great. And then you can also pick what made you want to go out and become an adventurer, which point I picked lust for money and power. So kind of, I guess, maybe leaning towards bad, but not like evil evil. Right, robber. Oh, bless you, sir. Bless you. We've done the lad no harm. We've been keeping him in our hideout near Fanata. I'll describe the area nearby in detail, so there's no mistaking it. Alright, and then we come to the loot screen where you can steal some stuff. And then we're going to return, and then we're going to go over to right there, which is their hideout. So we're going to go over there, and then we're going to go in, and we're going to loot the hideout. We're going to attack the hideout, basically. We're going to pick attack the hideout, and then you can see when you come in with you yourself and a few other people. Unfortunately, we didn't get any archers here, but these shouldn't be hard enemies, so we're going to come in and we're just going to lay waste to them. Also, with the bow, the longer you hold it, the less accurate it gets. So, like, watch. I can look over there. And then it'll start to get less and less accurate until a point where it just stops. But it's neither here nor there. So, the reason I fire fast with the bow, like, it seems like I'm firing fast, is because you kind of have to make decent hits. So we're gonna go in. Oh, that was almost bad. And if you are curious out there, you can damage your own people. Alright, that's all of them. So the merchant brother's gonna come here. Merchant's brother. Thank you, sir, for rescuing me from those fiends. Did my brother in Sargoth put you onto their tracks? Me. Yes, I told him that I would find you. I advise you to return to your family as quickly as you can and be careful on the road. With their retreat cut off, the looters fall one by one to your determined attack. Their hideout and their ill-gotten gains are now yours. So now we can just come by here and steal all this stuff. And then this is all things that we can sell. So we'll just run off with all this, that's all we can take. And now we can hit a party, and some of our people are ready to upgrade along with ourselves. We'll make one a huntsman and one a footman. Then we'll go into character because we leveled up, so now we can put points into things. So we're going to do one into strength. And then over here, we'll do one into trade for skills. And then for proficiencies, we're going to end up more into two-handed. Because the character builds I normally do are an archer, which is what this is going to be, is an archer with a bastard sword for a secondary. Which, if you don't know what that is a sword that can be used one-handed or two-handed. For now, we're going to go to the marketplace. We're going to sell all of our stuff. Yeah, like, no money. Is that one? Nope, that's an arming sword. Rusty sword, okay. I was hoping I could maybe see one to show you guys, but what they are is they're a one-handed and two-handed weapon. And then I'll couple that with a shield and a good bow and some stout armor, and basically I'm invincible. Alright, but with that portion of this quest done, we are going to end the stream here. Because, as I said at the beginning, I have to go take someone lunch, so now's a decent time to stop. So, thank you very much for watching. I stream 3 times a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This time, though, this week there was no Wednesday stream because I had unfortunately given a family task that I could not get rid of. This is my first stream, as you can see by the title of Mount & Blade. This might become a Friday thing, like the game we play on Fridays. But who knows? I'll probably stream it again next Friday, and we'll probably return to Minecraft for Monday. And when we do that, we'll continue with the, what's it called? Continue building the castle there. So, with that being said, thank you very much for watching. If you have liked the video up to this point, do feel free to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I stream 3 times a week. If you care to watch live, I start at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. That's all I got for me today. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day. Bye. Oh, also thank you to the person who